Healthy cells means a healthy you and a more powerful you, too. Take North American herb and spices, Chog O-Charge tea with wild birch bark, and Chaga Max capsules to experience real energy and power like you've never dreamed possible. Available at fine health food stores and online at p-73.com. Hi, I'm Lisa Davis. So glad you're listening to It's Your Health, and I hope you also listen to my other show, Naturally Savvy Radio, which I co-host with the fantastic Andrea Donsky, who joins us now. Hi, Andrea.
Hey, Lisa. So excited.
Well, this is fun.
Totally.
All right. Well, Naturally Savvy, Natural and Organic Living, naturallysavvy.com has such an amazing website. I always learn so much. And one of the great things that Andrea offers are very get healthy challenges. Andrea, tell us all about them.
Sure. Well, I mean, like you said, Lisa, Naturally Savvy is really, I like to say it's my life online because it really is a culmination of all the years of living this lifestyle and finding out about amazing brands that are out there and using products on a daily basis and just, pretty much of a lifestyle. So living that natural organic lifestyle. And what we decided to do was we obviously love to educate, but at the same time, we really wanted to put that into practicality and to put it into practice. So to teach people how to take that education and then integrate it into their lifestyle because it can be really overwhelming for some people.
Oh, it really can. What's so great about your Get Healthy challenges is that you walk them right through. Give us an example. For example, let's talk about the Scary 7, because that one, I mean, there's so many people eating products full of crap that they don't even realize how bad they are.
Right. So and that's a great question. So when we wrote our book on junk or junk food a few years ago, what we discovered, my co-author and I, Lisa Tsakos, lots of Lisas in my life. Lisa Tsakos co-authored the book with me and Randy Boyer, and what we found is that there are a lot of ingredients, and a lot of them harmful, in the processed foods or in any foods that we're eating on a regular basis. And we kind of thought, this is interesting. We should really look into this a little bit more. And what we discovered was that there really were probably, a group of 7 key ingredients. So they're not 7 individual ingredients, but a group or a category of 7 different ingredients, 7 different category of ingredients, where really most of those harmful ingredients appeared. And what happened is that we thought, all right, we're going to delve into this and understand what they are. And what we found is that things like artificial colors, artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, MSG, monosodium glutamate, trans fats, high fructose corn syrup, and certain preservatives really were in the majority of the foods that we tested.
And that's what's so scary, right? It
is scary.
Why they're
sure.
The Scary 7. So walk us through what's going to happen when somebody clicks on the Scary 7 challenge.
So what's going to happen is that you basically can go through the Scary. So we launched 10 challenges. So the Scary 7 were 7 of them. Plus we also launched an omega-3 challenge, a gluten-free challenge, and a non-GMO challenge. So if you go to naturallysavvy.com and you see at the top there's a navigation bar at the top and it says challenges, you can click there. Or you can go to challenges.naturallysavvy.com and then you could register for any one or all of the challenges. So on the Scary 7 themselves, what you could do is, and literally the most popular one to date is the artificial color ones. And I mean, Lisa, you're a mom. I'm a mom. I mean, we know when it comes to artificial colors, I don't know if you experience that in your own home, but when my kids have artificial colors, oh my gosh, they completely change. Do you find that as well?
Yeah, and I just do everything I can to keep her away from them. Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the scary thing. I mean, the research shows us is that it's linked to hyperactivity in children. And I could see when my kids, my 2 older ones, because my little one isn't exposed to it as much, but my 2 older ones, if they go to birthday parties, friends' houses, movies, whatever it is, their eyes literally completely start going crazy. It's really interesting to see. It's like there's something going on in their brain, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I really like to keep my kids away from it. So, basically you can sign up, and when you take the Artificial Colors Challenge or any of the challenges, I take you through step by step. There's 3 easy steps. So they're all interactive, and that's the cool thing about it is it's fun. It's work, but it's fun work. So, and it doesn't feel like you're actually learning. It doesn't feel like you're in school learning or you're getting scared. It's basically like an interactive tool that's like, hey, this is cool. I want to learn more. And the first part, step 1 is an introduction, and there's a really short 5-question quiz, really fun. Step 2 is we talk about the offenders. We talk about what are some products that you're eating that you don't realize may contain any of the scary 7 ingredients, right? Or GMOs or whatever it is, or gluten or whatever it is that whatever challenge you're in. And then in step 3, we really delve into the alternatives. So, because what happens, Lisa, I've been doing this for so long. I've been in the natural industry for 15 years. I'm a holistic nutritionist. The one question that comes up all the time is, okay, you're telling us what we can't eat, but what can I eat?
Exactly. Yeah, people need to know because otherwise they get super overwhelmed and they need to have substitutes. So what are some of the things that you recommend?
Well, so basically, depending on really what it is you're trying to eliminate. So let's say, for example, you really want to go into artificial colors. Let's take that, for example, since I mentioned that before, and then we can get into some of the other ones. But if you want to start eliminating artificial colors, so as mom, 3 kids, people will say, all right, it's not realistic that I could never give my kids candy because really artificial colors are found primarily in candy. And I'll say, well, you're right. And I'm like, hey, I wrote a book called Unjunk Your Junk Food, so I get it. I'm not the one that's going to say, let's give our kids celery and carrots because they're craving chocolate. No, I'm realistic, right? So basically I said, all right, well, and literally the reason why we even wrote Unjunk Your Junk Food or why I even kind of got into this in the first place was because I was that realistic mom. I mean, when my kids started growing up, I couldn't really give them carrot sticks anymore at birthday parties or red peppers where I used to be made fun of, right? I had to actually give them whatever other kids were having. So I really set out to look and find what some of those better options are. So this all started really because of my own lifestyle and my own selfishness, if you want to call it. It was my own kind of what am I going to do for my kids, right?
Yeah, not selfish, being a good mom.
Exactly, being a good mom, exactly. So anyway, so basically I went and I found, let's say, a company, I'll give you a great example, Surf Sweets. And they're in our book. They're in Unjunk Your Junk Food, and we work with them on our website because I love this company. And what they did, the guy who owns it, his name is Bert Cohen, he started it too because his kids wanted candy and they wanted to look for healthier options. So instead of using food coloring in their candy, and they've got everything from jelly beans, to gummy bears. I mean, they've got so many different products. They use fruits and vegetables to color and flavor their candy. And they're delicious, by the way. So, the kids who are eating it don't feel like they're deprived of anything. So that's a really great example of you're going to give your kids candy, you want to give them something sweet to eat, choose something like Surf Sweets.
Yeah, I completely agree that whenever my daughter comes home with any kind of artificial candy, I immediately substitute it and get her the Surf Sweets, and then she's happy, right? And I think they taste better, so...
You know what? I've taste tested them a lot, and to be honest with you, Lisa, I've heard that over and over, and I'm sure Surf Sweets has too. It tastes better. Like, they really taste better. And my kids, my kids, when they get the candy, that's what they're getting for the most part. I mean, I can't control when it's outside of our home, but literally that's what they get. And they love it. I mean, their friends love it. So, yes, I absolutely agree. And I think that's an important point to mention because I think a lot of people will think, oh, well, if it's not, they're not using, I don't think they think they're not using chemicals, but I think, well, if it's not what I'm normally eating, it's something different and they're sweetened with fruits and vegetables, that it may not taste as good. But the truth is, and I'm here to tell you, they taste just as good or better. So it's such a fallacy to think they don't, right?
Oh, exactly. And I mean, there's cookies and all kinds of yummy things that you can get without all of the junk, which is why people should get Unjunk Your Junk Food as well. It's such a great book.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it really is a great resource guide. You can find it on Amazon, Unjunk Your Junk Food, and literally it's one of those things, even if you don't want the alternatives that are in there, it's one of those things that it's a guidebook to explain to you what's going on with our food system and why we can make better choices. And that's really what we're all about at Naturally Savvy.
Yeah, we are. Now let's talk about fat. I'm all about the good fat. What are some of the good fats that we need to be taking?
Right. So and that's a really good question because that would fall under, let's say, our trans fats challenge. And, for me, taking, obviously coconut oil, that's one of my favorites for sure. Barlean's makes an amazing coconut oil. I use that I literally use it to cook eggs. Like, we do it for everything. So, I know, hilarious, right? I mean, we talk about this on Naturally Savvy Radio all the time on Radio MD, but literally I will make everything and a lot of things with coconut oil. And I just discovered avocado oil that I'm really liking. Oh my gosh,
I have been so into avocado oil. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I can't say it. Avocado oil lately. It is fantastic.
Yeah, really excited about that. So I'm just kind of experimenting with that. But yeah, no, I love coconut oil. So that's a really good type of oil because, it obviously helps to speed up our metabolism. It has lauric acid, which we know helps to decrease bad cholesterol, increase the good cholesterol for all the amazing benefits. But I also love, so let's say, for example, you're a household that you want to use margarine, right? So you want to go and you're baking, you're cooking, your family really wants something that they love the taste of margarine. Well, we found a company called Melt Organic. We work with them as well, and they make an organic, basically it's an organic spread that's pretty much the same thing as margarine, and it tastes better, and they're made with great oils, and you basically could use that one for one. So instead of using your margarine, use Melt because it doesn't have any trans fats.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to go back to Barlean's just for 1 minute because those swirls are like the best thing ever. The fish oil swirls. Oh my gosh. The mango peach, I could drink the whole bottle. And it's got vitamin D in it too. And then my daughter asks every day for her fish oil. And I used to always forget when I'd have just capsules, but now I look forward to it because it's so yummy.
Yeah, you know what? Barlean's, their swirls are definitely amazing. And I think, for anybody, people think, oh my God, fish oil, ew, it tastes yucky, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, companies like Barlean's, like Nordic Naturals, like Carlson, they're making fish oil that just tastes fantastic, right? So it's not
really
like
does.
It's just like a yucky kind of fishy tasting oil. No, like Barlean's has their swirls, which taste like a smoothie. Nordic has an amazing, for kids, like my kids, they have the strawberry flavored DHA that, I'm not kidding you, my 4-year-old would eat the entire bottle if I let her.
So would I.
Seriously, she'll sit there and plow through them, and I'm like, you got to hold up. You got to eat the whole thing at once, right? So, and Carlson came out with like a bubblegum flavor fish oil. So they're really yummy today. And, it's important. Obviously, omega-3s are super important for so many different things. That's why we created an actual challenge around it, because optimizing your omega-3 levels can help with, so many different things, from your hair to your nails to your heart health to your brain health, your moods. The list goes on. And there's a great website called omega-research.com. And it has thousands, I think it's like 8,000 or 10,000 studies on omega-3s and their benefits.
Oh my goodness. That is so cool. Yeah, I have to say, my skin, it makes a huge difference for me. That's where I notice it.
Completely. Yeah, and it's funny. I went to I take omega-3s obviously all the time, and when I go to my hairdresser, one time she asked me, she's like, what do you take? What do you do for your hair? It's so shiny. And I laughed. I'm like, it's called fish oil.
Yeah, exactly. Now, getting back to Melt, that's something you could bake with too, right?
Yeah, so you could definitely bake with it. I bake with it. You can cook your eggs with it. You literally can do anything with it. So that's why it's such a great product. And they have different flavors. They've got a chocolate spread. So let's say you're a Nutella fan, right?
Oh,
but you don't want Nutella because it has artificial flavors in it, and it can, I know it has artificial vanilla flavor. So I don't really love, Nutella for that reason. But if you wanted a chocolate spread, then you can use Melt. They have a chocolate flavor, and it has very little sugar. So it's a great equivalent if you don't want the sugar, but you want kind of that chocolate flavor, right?
Oh, that is really nice. Andrea, the time goes by so fast. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more from the wonderful Andrea Donsky from naturallysavvy.com. So keep listening. Hi, I'm Lisa Davis. So glad you're listening to It's Your Health. If you're just joining us, I've been speaking with my fabulous co-host from Naturally Savvy Radio. We're talking all about naturallysavvy.com and their wonderful Get Healthy challenges. Just before the break, we were talking about the importance of healthy fats. We were talking about staying away from artificial colors. If you missed any of this, just go to itsyourhealthnetwork.com, go to the audio archives under nutrition, and you will find it. But don't go now because Andrea is back. All right, Andrea, tell us about some of the other challenges. Take us through the gluten-free.
Yeah, so the gluten-free one, there's a lot of people that, feel that, I need to, go off gluten. I need to kind of remove it from my diet. Maybe some of them don't understand why. There was a great, viral internet video that went out that not too long ago. I think it was it Jimmy Kimmel? I think it might have been Jimmy Kimmel. I forget if it was Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. And they were asking people what gluten is, and most people didn't really understand what gluten is, but they were avoiding it. So what we wanted to do was get to the bottom of, why are people avoiding gluten? So we basically just explain what gluten is, and we talk about, there's also a misconception that people think that if they're eating gluten-free that it's healthier. But that's not always the case, because gluten-free doesn't always have, fiber. A lot of it is white. So, basically we teach people that, what to look for, what to avoid, but also if they want to put gluten or add gluten to their diet, some great gluten-free options, like Pamela's has a great line of gluten-free baking items, or you have Nature's Flavors, or you have Now Foods that have, between Nature's Flavors and Now Foods, you've got these great baking mixes that you can use that are all gluten-free. So, there's really, you can do it easily, and we explain why, if you want to do it, we don't tell you to do it either way. We're just saying if you want to go gluten-free, here's, what to consider, and here's some great options that you can try when you're trying it.
The best brownies, hands down, I've ever had in my life. are the Pamela's chocolate brownies, and instead of eggs, put applesauce. And honest to goodness, I've never tasted anything so delicious as that for a brownie. Have you made those? Oh my gosh!
You know what? I haven't made her brownies, but I make her pancake mixes. I mean, a million other things from her line. I mean, Pamela, by the way, herself, the woman who owns the company, she's unbelievably amazing. I mean, I love her. She's one of my favorite people. And
neat.
She literally created Pamela's because of the fact that it was her grandfather that started it, but she wanted to create products. I mean, her whole thing is delicious tasting food that happens to be gluten-free. So, I mean, really, her products are delicious. But, I mean, Now Foods, Nature's Flavors, both of them have mixes that have gluten-free brownies as well that are quite delicious.
Ooh, I'll have to try those.
Yeah,
people have to be careful when they go gluten-free that they don't just end up living on, white rice crackers. I mean, there's a lot of things that are so highly processed that it's better to just stick with some whole foods and then also get these great products you're talking about that use a brown rice flour, versus just white rice.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. I mean, 100%. I mean, and one of the other points too, or one of the other challenges that we did was the non-GMO challenge. And Lisa, I know that we talk about GMOs a lot on Naturally Savvy Radio, but one of the things that we really wanted to delve into was, what are the issues with GMOs? And if you do want to avoid them or you want to learn more about it, we kind of take you through the step. And we mentioned, organizations like Food Democracy Now!, Lisa Stokey, who's a, really good friend of mine. Her and her partner, Dave Murphy, started this organization to really lobby against organizations that are putting GMOs into our food. So GMOs, genetically modified organisms, and Institute for Responsible Technology, people like Jeffrey Smith that literally travel around the world every single year educating people on why they should be avoiding them. So we have that challenge as well, which is doing extremely well.
Well, tell us more, because I have to be honest, on It's Your Health, we haven't focused on it as much, so this would be great for my audience. Talk to us about why GMOs are bad in the first place.
Well, the thing about GMOs is they're taking the DNA of one thing and they're splicing it with the DNA of something else to create something that wouldn't normally occur in nature. So they're taking, the DNA from, let's say, an herbicide like glyphosate, and they're basically splicing it into a food like corn or soy, and they're creating Roundup-ready corn or soy. So now the DNA of this herbicide is in the actual seed that they're planting, and then the plant is grown with the actual herbicide in it. And then what happens is that farmers, when they spray glyphosate on their crop, those plants won't die. So there's a lot going on here from from pesticide standpoint and from the actual playing around with our food. But the biggest issue when it comes to GMOs is really our right to know. And what happens is that in the U.S. and Canada, there's 64 countries around the world that label GMOs. So let's say, for example, you want to know whether or not this food you're eating, you're buying at the grocery store, contains this Roundup-ready soy or corn. Well, you know what? If you live in the U.S. or Canada, you can't know. Why? Because our governments, our governments don't make it mandatory for companies to label our foods that contain it.
Wow. And that was a big thing in California, right? And unfortunately, it got voted down.
Prop 37, exactly. But it's going to happen eventually. I mean, people are waking up to it, and I think that's the fundamental issue with the whole GMO movement and non-GMO movement is that we just want to know. Let us know, right? So, I mean, there are companies like, for example, Barbara's Bakery. They spent the last several years really switching over several of their products to non-GMO. Like they've got products like Puffins, and Puffins is a super popular kid cereal, and they had GMOs in it, and they literally removed them from their cereal. And they, not only with Puffins, but many other of their cereals. So they really spent a lot of time and effort. And I know we interviewed Katrina, their director of marketing, on Naturally Savvy Radio, and we've heard the amount of effort and time that's gone into it. So now their products are non-GMO project verified. A lot of their products are organic. So I am going to say this, that if a product is organic, it automatically is non-GMO because according to the laws, it can't contain, if it's 100% organic, it can't contain GMOs. So if you're looking to avoid them, just buy organic too, right? That's a great way to avoid them. Some companies are writing non-GMO, made with non-GMO corn, but again, if you want an absolute guarantee, you look for the sticker that says non-GMO project verified or organic, the USDA organic seal or other organic certifications.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Now, what about for people who say that they can't afford organic? What are your reasonings that you think, you know what, it's worth it in the long run?
You know what, there's a lot of different thoughts on this. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's you either afford it now or you can't afford it now or you can't afford it later. Like it's one of those things that you're paying for it. You're paying more up front now for products that are and let's get. I'm with you. It's it's expensive. When I go to the grocery store and I want to buy, organic romaine lettuce, and it's $6 for three, for the three hearts or the three romaine lettuce heads. I guess I don't know how you refer to it. I mean, for sure, it makes you think twice. You're like, whoa, it's so expensive when the next conventional one over there is so much cheaper. But at the end of the day, you're paying more now to pay less later on, and it's prevention, right? It's prevention. It's healthcare. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it really does. What are some other things we're going to find on naturallysavvy.com?
On the naturallysavvy.com, or specifically the challenges?
Either and both.
Okay, perfect. So for the challenges as well, I mean, another thing that, one of the things that's really huge is artificial sweeteners. And I don't know, how many of your listeners, and I think for those of you who are listening to the show, and if you're eating or taking in aspartame, sucralose, Splenda, which is sucralose, Ace K, which is acesulfame potassium, you're chewing gum, you're drinking diet drinks, you're putting, these chemical sweeteners into your coffee. Stop. I'm just going to say stop, please. And this is really one of those things that, there is research on it, although a lot of the research is old, but, there's newer research now, especially linking these chemical sweeteners to weight gain. So there was one time they were thinking, oh, you know what, if you're diabetic or you're trying to lose weight, you're going to use these artificial sweeteners to help you do that. Well, now the research is showing us that it does the opposite. So for that reason alone, if you're looking at the research, chemical sweeteners are, even MSG. I mean, these are chemicals that are playing with the neurotransmitters in our brain. Like we got to leave them alone, and especially because there are so many other options. Like if you love diet soda, let's say you're a Diet Coke or not Diet Coke, just a diet lover, diet soda drinker, and you basically want to avoid them. What you could do is you can look for products like Birdie and Bill's. Nature's Flavors makes an amazing, delicious soda. They have a cola, they have cream soda, they have root beer that is literally sweetened with stevia and erythritol, and it tastes yummy. So again, you have these alternatives that taste just as good, but you're avoiding those chemical sweeteners.
So I host my husband's family here on Thanksgiving every year, and I got the Birdie and Bill's, and they loved it. And it was so nice because I'm not going to buy regular soda. Forget it. Just forget
exactly,
it.
Right?
It is true. There's so much. And I just have to say, thank you so much for putting my videos up, What's Hot in Health with Lisa Davis. There's a lot of fun and silly. But honestly,
you're awesome on camera.
Oh, I have a lot of fun. I definitely am a goofball, and I love it. Now, what I love about Naturally Savvy, too, is that, you're always so up to date. Like, you want to know what's going on in the world of natural living and health, you just go to naturallysavvy.com, and it tells you. Is there anything else on the challenges, dear? Whatever else you want to share, we definitely want to know.
So I love North American Urban Spice. Literally, I've been working with them for so many years, and they make many different products. Oregano oil is just one of their products, but they have so many different products, and they're all about boosting immunity. And oregano in particular is so great when it comes now, it's winter, and we're fighting off colds, we're fighting off flus. You could use it, you take it internally, you can use a capsule, you can use their oil, and basically it helps, it's antibacterial, it's antiviral, and it really helps to get over your cold or flu a lot faster. It's also a great prevention. So when my kids were little, what I would do is if they get a cold or they're coming down with this, runny nose or whatever it is, I would just take a couple drops on my hand and rub it on the bottom of their feet and put socks over it so it holds the vapors in.
Ooh.
And it just works wonders.
Ooh, I'm going to try that. Awesome.
Yeah. They're a great company, and their website is p-73.com.
Cool. All right, and the P73, that stands for the type of oregano they use, correct?
Exactly.
Andrea, what are some of the other companies involved in the challenges?
Other great brands that helped us really bring this to life, companies like Bigelow Tea. I don't know if you're familiar with Bigelow, but they are really, when it comes to tea, they are number one. They've been around for so many years. Cindy Bigelow, who runs the company, it's family-owned, pretty amazing lady, and has really, their whole life is dedicated to tea, and they make really, really yummy green tea. They also have a line of organic teas. So, I definitely would recommend people, if you're a tea drinker, to please check them out. Uncle Matt's, if you drink orange juice and you want to avoid high fructose corn syrup, because believe it or not, if you go to the store and you look at, products like Minute Maid and even their light version, it has not only artificial sweeteners, but it also has high fructose corn syrup, which we know can lead to obesity.
Oh,
so
yeah.
companies like Uncle Matt's, they make great, first of all, they make amazing orange juice, all organic, 100%, so all their products are organic, family owned again. Matt McLean owns the company, runs the company, and basically everything is super clean, organic, and delicious, and none of those chemical sweeteners or high fructose corn syrup. So that's, super key, super key. And then also Lily of the Desert was another one of the brands that sponsored it this year, and they make amazing aloe vera. So a lot of people suffer. Aloe vera has so many healing properties, but one of the things, if you suffer from GERD or acid reflux, they have a line of aloe vera juices that you could take, and they also have an aloe mix and go that you can put in your bottled water, like instead of like a Mio, right?
Oh, wow,
you can throw it in your water and
great.
drink it. Yeah, so it really can help you, with your digestion, which is really nice.
And we have come such a long way. I joke around on this show and on Naturally Savvy about my mother dragging me to the health food store as a kid in the 1970s and how everything smelled like carob, and it was just not appealing. And now it's like a whole new world.
It really is. And, and I think the key is really just to believe and understand that these companies, like the ones I mentioned, are really, we need to support them because they're really changing our food system and they're enabling us to eat healthier options, right? So, and they taste delicious, and, we're investing in ourselves and our families. And I do believe that, and I've always believed this, that we just need to support the companies that are supporting us.
Oh, yeah, it's so true. And everything is so tasty. And then it makes it easy when you're like, what do I feed my kid? You can trust all these brands.
And if you want to know, this is really my, I like to say I'm the nerd when I go out and literally go to trade shows. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's out there. Again, for that, I want it for me too, right? It's for my site, and everybody else. But literally, I want to know what can I give my kids? What can I eat myself? When I'm craving something sweet, what are some great options? So you can go to naturallysavvy.com. You can sign up for one of our challenges. I go through so many different alternatives in our challenges. And we're also working with a company online. It's an online retailer called shoporganic.com. And they sell all these great alternatives. So if you go on our website and you click on our link, we have an affiliate program set up with them. So if you buy it through, if you go through our website, we get a little bit of some money to help us continue to do these challenges. Or if you go directly to them, shoporganic.com, you can go and you can check out what they have. And everything on their website is organic and non-GMO. So you are totally safe to, literally anything that they sell, you're good to go. In terms of, no chemical additives.
Oh, that is so awesome. Andrea, was there anything else today that you wanted to talk about?
Oh, we're good, Lisa. Thank you. And I so appreciate you, talking about our challenges and really, having us dig into it. And I just want to help people get healthy, and that's why they're called our Get Healthy Challenges.
Oh, you do so much great work, Andrea. And people, make sure to listen to us every Wednesday from 12 to 1 on Radio MD, Naturally Savvy. We have a lot of great guests, and Andrea and I have a lot of fun, and there's so much great information. Andrea, tell us all the ways people can learn about you and your book and all your great stuff.
Sure. So you can go to Amazon, and you can basically just search Unjunk Your Junk Food. So we have it there. You can go to naturallysavvy.com, and you could, browse our website. We've got thousands and thousands and thousands of articles there just on living this healthy lifestyle. And we also have a lot of recipes that people really love as well. And we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram now. We're really loving Instagram, so please follow us on Instagram. And you can also email us at info@naturallysavvy.com if you have any questions.
Terrific. Andrea, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa.
Healthy cells means a healthy you and a more powerful you, too. Take North American herb and spices, Chog O-Charge tea with wild birch bark and Chaga Max capsules to experience real energy and power like you've never dreamed possible. Available at fine health food stores and online at p-73.com.